Welcome to our video about the history of Europe. Let's dive deep into the past to explore how Europe has changed and developed over thousands of years. Our journey begins in ancient times with the Greeks. Over 2,500 years ago, the ancient Greeks lived in small city-states like Athens and Sparta. They are known for their incredible contributions to philosophy, art, and science. Thinkers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle pondered big questions about life, politics, and the universe. The Greeks also started the Olympic Games and built stunning structures like the Parthenon. Next, we move to the rise of the Roman Empire. The Romans began as a small city on the Tiber River, but grew to control a vast empire stretching from Britain to the Middle East. The Romans were brilliant engineers and builders. They constructed roads that connected their empire, aqueducts that brought water to their cities, and massive buildings like the Colosseum. Famous figures like Julius Caesar and Augustus played crucial roles in expanding and strengthening the empire. The Romans also spread their language, Latin, which became the foundation for many European languages. After the fall of the Roman Empire around 476 AD, Europe entered a period known as the Middle Ages, or medieval times. This era lasted for about 1,000 years. During the early Middle Ages, Europe was fragmented into small kingdoms and territories ruled by kings, queens, and nobles. Castles were built as fortresses to protect against invasions. The feudal system was the way society was organized, with peasants working the land for the lords in exchange for protection. The Vikings, fierce warriors from Scandinavia, began raiding and settling in various parts of Europe during the 8th to 11th centuries. They were skilled sailors and explorers, reaching as far as North America, which they called Vinland. As we move forward to the High Middle Ages, around the 11th to 13th centuries, Europe saw the growth of powerful kingdoms and the rise of cities. Trade increased, and many cathedrals, like Notre Dame in Paris, were built. This period also saw the Crusades, a series of religious wars aimed at capturing the Holy Land from Muslim control. From the 14th to the 16th centuries, Europe faced significant challenges like the Black Death, a deadly plague that killed millions. Despite these hardships, this period paved the way for the Renaissance. The Renaissance, which means rebirth, began in Italy in the 14th century and spread across Europe. It was a time of great cultural, artistic, and scientific revival. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci painted masterpieces such as the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. Michelangelo sculpted the statue of David and painted the Sistine Chapel ceiling. Scientists like Galileo and Copernicus made groundbreaking discoveries about our world and the universe. Exploration was also a key part of the Renaissance. Explorers like Christopher Columbus, funded by Spain, sailed across the Atlantic Ocean and discovered the Americas in 1492. This age of exploration opened up new trade routes and brought immense wealth to European nations. As we enter the 17th and 18th centuries, Europe experienced the Enlightenment, a period where reason, science, and individual rights became highly valued. Thinkers like Voltaire, Rousseau, and John Locke wrote about democracy, freedom, and the importance of education. This period also saw the rise of powerful monarchies in France, Britain, and Spain, and significant conflicts like the 30 Years' War, which reshaped the political landscape of Europe. The 19th century brought the Industrial Revolution, starting in Britain and spreading across Europe. This was a time of rapid technological advancements and the rise of factories. Steam engines, railways, and new machinery transformed how people lived and worked. Cities grew rapidly as people moved from the countryside to work in factories. This era also saw social changes, with movements for workers' rights and the end of child labor. The 20th century was a turbulent time for Europe. It began with World War I, 1914 to 1918, a devastating conflict that involved many European nations. The war ended with the Treaty of Versailles, which imposed heavy penalties on Germany and reshaped many national borders. The economic and political instability that followed led to the rise of totalitarian regimes, most notably Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany. World War II, 1939 to 1945, was even more destructive. It involved almost every European country and caused immense loss of life and widespread destruction. The war ended with the defeat of the Axis powers, and Europe was left to rebuild from the ruins. After the war, the continent was divided into Western Europe, influenced by the United States and democracy, and Eastern Europe, under the influence of the Soviet Union and communism. This division was symbolized by the Berlin Wall in Germany. In the second half of the 20th century, European countries began to work together to ensure peace and economic stability. This cooperation led to the formation of the European Union, a political and economic union of member countries that allows for free trade, open borders, and collective decision-making on various issues. The EU has played a significant role in promoting peace, stability, and prosperity in Europe. Today, Europe is a continent rich in history, culture, and diversity. It consists of over 40 countries, each with its own unique traditions, languages, and contributions to the world. From the ancient Greeks and Romans to the challenges and triumphs of the modern era, Europe's history is a fascinating journey through time. Thank you for joining us on this adventure through the past, and we hope you enjoyed learning about the incredible history of Europe.